Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Sidewinder Shed Live. It's Saturday morning. Anyway, good morning. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Hope you all had a good week. Um, Again, I got a little bit of free time this morning, so I figured I'd hop on here, have a bit of a live stream. Nothing major. My big project for today is I finally got all the parts in over the week for my transmission again. And so yeah, I'll be working on that. Um, what a journey it has been so far, and yeah, hopefully this will be the last time I have to get into it. I'm actually having my coffee. I'm kind of procrastinating, doing the same thing on the same project over and over and over again. Yes, it's a learning experience, but man, it's frustrating. Um, but anyway, um, it's a matter of principle now. I will get that transmission fixed and it will work properly. I don't know when, but I'll get it done. And anyway, we'll see how things go. I got some interesting stuff to do with that too, something a little extra. Um, and that's with the valve body. Now, when I first started rebuilding this transmission, I kept telling everyone, yeah, I still get about 6 or 7 hours worth of video I have to edit. And that was all to do with the valve body. And so I'm pretty much just going to redo the valve body. I have to take it apart and clean it up anyway. And since I have another valve body, just a little bit different. One is for a non-lockup torque converter transmission, and that's what's going in the truck. And the other one is for a lockup uh, torque converter. And so I will be comparing the differences between the two valve bodies because they are different. There are some things in them that are different. And it's just like when I was doing. If you go back and you check my channel, and you're interested in the small block Mopar engines, there's a lot of things I pointed out that were similar and different between the three designs of the small block Mopar engine. And basically, it kind of just it mainly focuses on the 318 and the 360 cubic inch engines, as well as the 5.2, which is a 318, and a 5.9, which is a 360 Magnum versus the LA versus the intermediate engine, which was the factory roller cam, which is the two engines that I have. Uh, and I have a 318 Magnum, 5.2 liter Magnum as well. And I've gone through and I've pointed out a lot of the similarities and a lot of the differences. Because at the time, when I was trying to find out, what was what, not a whole lot of information in one spot. It was spread out little bits here and there. You might watch a 45-minute video to find 2 minutes focusing on that thing you had a question with. So I've tried to, with that engine, I've tried to, like I said, point out the differences because most of the videos right off the bat, that say, okay, well, the main difference is the intake manifold bolt pattern between an LA and a Magnum. and the heads are different, and the valve train's a little different. Okay, other than that, there's some other minor changes. All right, well, some of those minor things, if, i.e., those minor things, if you're not mindful of them and you put the wrong part on the wrong engine, Magnum part on an LA, or even an LA flat tappet part on an LA roller cam, it can cause you some trouble down the road. And if you want to know more specifics, just, check out my channel and go to my playlist on my channel. And right there is a whole section with a bunch of videos that says the, Mopar LA versus LA roller cam versus Magnum. And it goes right through this bunch of videos. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, yeah, I just figured oh my God, it's 8 o'clock already. I thought it was earlier. Well, yeah, I am dragging. It's a little bit overcast today. The weather's supposed to turn cool. We're supposed to be cloudy, but, and this is what kind of threw me for a loop. I was only half listening to it, but between today and tomorrow, there's supposed to be a little bit of a cold front coming through and push out all the humidity and moisture in the air. Yeah, but it's still supposed to be. I'm not, I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't understand that. But anyway, I just kind of thought it was weird. I just thought it was a little strange. Going to get rid of all the humidity, put the moisture out, but it's going to be cloudy with a chance of rain. Okay. Hey, one-eyed cat. Good morning, sir. Glad to see you this morning. How you doing, my friend? I'm just sitting here. The wife's still sleeping, and I'm procrastinating about going back out in the shed and doing any more to that transmission right now. I just, I got to kind of psych myself up for it. Oh, middle of cooking breakfast again. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Yeah, in some future videos, because getting towards that time of the year, I want to get this truck fixed back on the road, not worry about it. And I'm going to shift gears a little bit and go back to dealing with cast iron and some cooking. And because get a bunch of recipes, a bunch of stuff here that that I really want to put out on the internet for people to try, and I think it'll be interesting. And part of it is breakfast items as well, and because I don't want to irritate the wife and mess up her kitchen too much, most of the cooking's either going to be done outside, on the grill, on the wood stove, or over an open fire. That way, I won't get myself in trouble. And it puts a little twist on the cooking. So hey, that might draw in some interest from some people. Who knows? But again, I'm not doing it just for views. I mean, that's actually the way I do a lot of my cooking. Um, yeah, I try not to cook too much in the kitchen unless the wife is at work or doing something, because then that gives me, a couple hours to cook and then another 6 hours to clean the mess up that I made. Yeah, cooking with cast iron on fire is somewhat of an art. I take it for granted. I grew up that way. I grew up doing this, so I don't think anything about it until somebody mentions it, and then I find out, everybody's trying to figure out, watch YouTube channels and watch everybody trying to figure it out. And I mean, I don't give it a second thought. Yeah, and see, I also forget I can put your comments up here. I'm only halfway through my first cup of coffee, so yeah, the body might be up, but the brain is still sitting there yawning and turning over and trying to cover itself with the blanket. Uh, and yes, this is coffee in here. But yeah, I figure I'll do I got three more pans that I have to clean, strip, and re-season. So I think I'm gonna show that as well. And there won't be any sanding. These are all older classic pans that came smooth from the factory, came milled smooth. And anyway, so I'm just gonna show some how I strip them, get all the old seasoning off, get them down to bare metal, and then re-season them. And you don't have to do any sanding or anything for that. We'll just bring them back to life here. And they had been sitting for a while, and I don't know what's in them, but it's almost like the grease that you pack your firearms with, which I forgot the name of right now. When you store them for any length of time, I mean, it's almost like a glue now. So I got to get all that cleaned off, and while I'm doing that, I may as well strip them right down and start over. Then we will use them, and we'll see how well they cook. I might even do some comparisons again. Using those pans right after they're seasoned and comparing them to some of the skillets and stuff I have that have got 40 years of seasoning on them or better. And I will almost guarantee you, if I do the seasoning right after I strip them, there really won't be much of a difference. But anyway, that's something I'll be doing in the cooler weather. And again, provided I get this damn truck back on the road and get that all squared away. I thought I had it, but I didn't. Oh, and since you're here, you're the only one watching. Um, I'll tell you what I found. My output shaft, just like a crankshaft, has oiling ports, oiling holes in it. And what I found out is that for whatever reason, the main oiling port got plugged the last time I had this transmission out. And I don't know, I guess my fault. I must have missed something. And so obviously, oil was not going through the output shaft, and it kind of wallered itself on the back of the transmission. There is the overdrive clutch housing, and that does not have a bronze or brass bushing in it. It's just aluminum, and that's what it uses. And there's oil holes in that as well. I guess something got in there, it plugged it up, because it kind of started welding itself to that clutch housing, which caused a little bit of wobble, because the way it was wallered out, I figured that shaft was moving, which is probably enough to offset that reverse band on the clutch, or that drum, that first reverse drum. This is what I'm thinking. Follow me through if you guys think it's right or not. Probably caused a little bit of wobbling. everything's new, and so that band is still breaking in, so it's going to loosen up, and I knew I had to readjust it. But before I got to that, I think it caused enough problems for that. I call it a wedge, um, and God, the little wedge that holds one side of the band. And that was enough for that to fall out, and then the band twisted and got itself jammed up on the drum, and just ate up everything on the band, ate up the drum, got all new parts, got everything new for it. But that's pretty much what I think happened. And so I made sure that everything, all the oiling holes, everything is cleaned out. No debris. And she had aluminum on a hardened steel surface, so there's no damage to the output shaft. I had to clean it up a little bit, but there's no damage to it. It's fine. And from what I've also read, this can be a common occurrence. I mean, it's, well, not uncommon. It happens a lot on older transmissions. The other thing I want to check, and this is once I get it back in, I do want to find a shop that has a pressure tester. I don't have the money for it. I don't have the time, the knowledge to find the fittings, to hook it up to the transmission. So I want to take it to a shop, have them check the pressure, make sure everything's set right. Once I get it back in, to make sure it's getting oiled as well, and most likely just to see why and I know it's probably unnecessary, but just for my peace of mind, I'm going to order another transmission pan with a drain in it, with the drain plug in it, because once I get this transmission up and in, I think I'm going to drop the pan and visually inspect everything once every 2 weeks or so, every other weekend, and just look at the oil, make sure there isn't any sparklies in it. Make sure everything looks good, drop the pan, make sure nothing's getting torn up or falling apart. And I'll also be able to adjust the reverse band and keep an eye on it. That's the only thing I can think. And if I use the truck just for work, I'll probably end up doing it every Saturday or Sunday for the first month, because that's 200 miles a week just going back and forth to work that I put on the truck. And the transmission went 500 miles, and this is the damage I ended up with. So if I cut that in half, I might be able to, if something's going on, I might be able to catch it before I have to replace a bunch of parts again. Anyway, this is just me babbling, thinking out loud. I'm just getting so damn tired of this. And right now, though, I don't know if I'll get, well, I know I have a truck this Sunday, because I'm still waiting on the torque converter. Because there's so much trash in that transmission, I don't want to reuse the other torque converter, even though that one was new as well. That's the thing that's hurting me the most. So I got a brand new part, but I just don't trust. I don't have anything to make sure I flush it out properly and clean it out. I can't take it apart, and I don't have a parts cleaner to leave it in, being flushed out for a week or two to make sure. And even with that being said, I don't know if that would work, so I don't want to take a chance. So basically, I'm eating another $200. I'm going to keep that torque converter if I ever find, a good way to clean it out and everything, because the core charge on it was $25. So uh, I'm not worried about $25. But anyway, this is, like I said, I'm just babbling this stuff going through my mind. But I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot about these transmissions. And one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is I'm putting it together, because here's another bit of information that's kind of hard for me to find all in one spot. And I'm no expert, but I'm going to go through as I'm putting this transmission, the mechanical parts back together. I'm not going to worry too much about the valve body just yet. I'm still studying the valve body and what the valves do and how they change the flow of the fluid and everything. But as far as how your clutches work, your bands work, when they work, what shifts into what gear and everything, I'm going to try and go through that while this transmission is apart, and show you when does the reverse band come on, because it comes on in two different situations. When you put your vehicle in drive, that reverse band does not come on and lock around that drum. But when you put it in manual first, it does. Now I'm going to have to check this because I might be wrong again, but I think that's the way that works. I might be thinking of the front band. But I'm pretty sure it's the reverse band. The reverse band comes on obviously when you go in reverse, but when you put it in first gear, I'm going to have to double check. But yeah, when you do manual first gear and manual second gear, the bands come on and it it shifts a little different. Certain things happen, and this is to keep it from upshifting. Okay. Um, and there are certain times when that one way sprag uh, works, and it's not the sprag itself. That also deals with the clutches, with the planetaries, and with the bands. But I'll go through all that and kind of walk through it because it's something I'm learning. So may as well, as I'm learning and reading, may as well go through it. It might help somebody in the future because a lot of these rebuilds, even the professional ones that I've been watching, they're like, well, you need to replace this, this, and this. You need to check for this tolerance, this clearance, and that clearance. But you really don't need to know right now how everything works. What circuit does what, what's engaging in what gear and everything. You just need to know how to replace it. I'm like, well, it kind of helps you, especially if you're in my situation where you've taken the damn thing out 5 times because you keep screwing up. So it's nice to know, and yes, I do blame a lot of this on myself, just for the simple fact I don't have the knowledge to go, yes, it was bad parts, or whatever, or there's a pre-existing problem. I don't have the knowledge and the experience to be able to do that. So I'm going to say it's a 50-50 shot. Well, I already know I had 3 bad parts right out the box. But even with that being said, I'm 90% sure I had 3 bad parts. I'm 100% sure I had 1 because I bench tested it and it didn't work. And all that was just a solenoid, electrical. Either it works or it don't. It didn't, so I used the old one. But anyway, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in my ability either, and especially after playing with this thing for so long. Well, I'm still trying, and I'll get it done. I have no choice. With that being said, I am still $800 cheaper than buying the cheapest used transmission, not rebuilt, but used transmission that I could find for this truck. And I know 727 transmissions, a lot of people, dime a dozen. Even A518 transmissions, a lot of them, especially without the overdrive, which is what I don't need, that's fine, are affordable and they're cheap. Problem I'm running into is that a lot of them, the 518s, a lot of them that are available for short money are REs, and you have to change enough things to make them an RH. Not only that, but 90% of them out there come with a lockup torque converter. And as we go through my videos I'm going to be posting this coming week, there's enough differences between the valve bodies that some things have got to be changed. And if you don't have, pardon me, the separator plate, especially, that's where all the little holes and everything are cut out and drilled so that the fluid goes to the right circuits. And there's a few extra check balls, this, that, and the other thing, and a couple of valves. And if you don't know this, that transmission is not going to work properly in my truck. And some of this stuff is a little bit pricey to get a hold of if you're not going to a junkyard to find it. And even then, it's hard to find in a junkyard because, like I said, 90% of them are for the lockup torque converters. Again, that's one of the problems I'm running into with getting a torque converter. Counting the splines. Does it have a wide ring on it for the starter? And the where it slides into the transmission, they have different length collars. And all that's got to match. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm going to give the engineers for Mopar the benefit of the doubt is that as they were going along, they're like, hey, this could be upgraded. This could be improved. This is a better idea. And the Mopar hierarchy said, yeah, all right, let's do that. But that, ends up with you have certain pieces, certain engine parts, certain transmission parts that were only made for 2 years. Then they were upgraded, and a lot of them aren't retrofit. And then that lasted for 2 or 3 years, and then they up and again, and then that lasted for 10 years. And yeah, it's just it's frustrating sometimes, but I'm learning. I'm learning a lot. It is a journey, and I'm just kind of hoping I can throw out this information and help somebody else that might be in my similar situation as me, whether it's for their daily driver or just a weekend toy that they're trying to fix or build or something. And like I said, that's why I'm trying to consolidate it, all this weird stuff and all the changes into one channel and, maybe a couple videos. Yeah, oil change on the wife's van too. I got you, man. I got you. I got to do one on the Jeep, but since the truck is in the driveway, I'm not doing it on the side of the road here. So I got to get that, got to get the truck going so at least I can move it, get her Jeep into the driveway and do an oil change on it. And a few other things that it needs, Got to keep her vehicle going too. But good Lord. At least, I'm happy. At least I am able to work on these vehicles. Yeah, and I am sorry, man. I've been sitting here babbling. I didn't want to bother you while you were cooking your breakfast or eating it. But after you're done, if you want to, hop on here and, you know, tell us all about No Name Nationals. I talked to Damien, and my God, I don't think it was on a live stream. I think it was a personal call. I was talking to Damien for a while from First Responders Garage about No Name, and it seemed everyone had a good time, man. And yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. I was hoping to make it this year. I really was, especially when I had that transmission back in the truck and everything seemed to be working fine. We took the camper out, went camping, and uh, but such is life. Hopefully next year I'll be able to make it. Hopefully next year, um, once this transmission, I'm sure that the transmission is fine. That's when I'll turn my attention to putting that engine in the truck. Because right now, that would have been a nightmare to get the new engine in it, have all this trouble with the transmission. And if you've ever rebuilt an engine, and especially if you changed it from something that's non-stock, you know, um, there's always the little things, that crop up. You usually spend a couple months working out the bugs. Um, Even with my old Ford, I put a stock, well, close to stock engine in it. And when I say that, I got a new old stock engine, not a rebuilt, a brand new engine, never been used, but it was set up. The injectors were a little bit different because it was set up for a county truck, one of the big F600 trucks, and I'm putting it in an F250. So a few things were a little different. Everything plugged in, everything worked fine, but even just swapping the engine over, it took me about a month before I got that thing running the way I wanted it to. And again, this was 20 years ago. Again, I put a brand new distributor on it, and it turns out that the bushing in the distributor was bad. Brand new, not rebuilt, brand new. And the reason why I changed the distributor is because I busted off one of the ears on the old distributor years before this, and and I ended up using 2-part epoxy to glue the cap on, so I couldn't take the cap off of it. Um, but anyway, yeah, I put it brand new out of the box, and that thing was giving me fits because it'd be misfiring. Sometimes it would just die out on me, and I went through everything until finally I pulled the distributor out and could see the shaft. I'm like, holy crap. I went and I bought a $250 Mallory uh, roller bearing, barrel or pin bearing instead of bushing. Well, that thing ran great. Never had a problem with it. That thing was nice. But anyway, just going on, you always run into little problems, especially when you do major surgery on something. Yeah, ship parts out of the box do suck, and it's becoming more and more common. Back in the 80s and before, maybe 1 out of 10,000, you might get something that's no good. Then it came to about 1 out of 1,000. And then it's 1 out of 100. And now it's basically you have a 50-50 shot. I mean, even recently, about 10 years ago, I consider that recent as long as it's within the same decade. Once you get older, you know, when I get to be my dad's age, up in my 90s, if I make it that long, if I'm in the same century, I'll be close enough. But right now, as long as I'm, 10 years is close enough. A decade. About a decade ago, I went through 4 starters for my old Ford. from 3 different manufacturers and 3 different parts stores. All 4 of them were bad out of the box. I ended up grabbing a bunch of starters out of the junkyard, I think, because they were only $10 a piece. I think I grabbed 5 of them, took them all apart, and built one good one out of those 5 bad ones. Cleaned up all the windings, all the stator and the rotor. God, I can't even think of the name. And brushes, and put them all in. 2 of them. 2 of them. The nose cone on the starter, where the bushing goes in, was offset, and you could. It just, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I ended up bringing 4 of them back, and just went to a junkyard, picked up 5, and built one. And that lasted well, I kept the truck for about another 4 years after that, until I finally got rid of it, and it was still fine. Yeah, all right. If you look at a starter, the nose cone, it goes into the transmission, where it bolts up. And that's where your gear comes out on the shaft. Well, I took the nose cone off because this thing was eating up my flywheel, and it was getting jammed up in there. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? 2 of them. And when I took the nose cone off the starter and I'm looking at it, yeah, instead of being centered, you could see that it was offset big time. And looking at some of my old starters and everything, I'm like, well, I don't know if this is a special order thing, but the part numbers are the same. And it shouldn't be offset. It should be right in the middle. So I don't know what happened. I guess maybe somebody was hungover that day or something. I don't know. All right, sir. I see you're on. Do you have a good breakfast?
It was acceptable.
Oh, okay.
I walked away for a quick minute, and that cast iron burned a little potatoes, but hey, that's all part of it.
I gotcha. It happens.
It's hard to do cast iron on an electric stove.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I have inside the house. That's another reason why I try to go outside and use them. But with that being said, I would rather use the cast iron on the electric range than I would a stainless steel, or any other pan, for a simple fact.
Right.
It will hold the heat, and I can heat it up and then turn it down so I don't get the quick on off hot spots like you do in another pan.
Right.
It takes practice. So I mean, there's a learning curve with that. So anyway, how was No Name Nationals, man? How'd you do?
It was all right. The trip out sucked just for the fact that it's 15 hours one way.
Oof. Yep.
But other than that, it was fine. Because while we're in Central PA, and my uncle lives in Cleveland, so we always do the first leg and do an overnight at his house.
Gotcha.
That way we cut the trip down. It's like a 1/3, 2/3. Because his house is 300 miles and it's 9 to theirs. So
Yep.
it's nice on the way home because we get the longest part of the leg out of the way coming home. That way we only got 5.5 hours,
Yeah.
So you're not totally burned out on the ride to unpack shit when you get home in the rain.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I hear. It's like when I
That's I
went
got to
camp.
do.
I was gonna say, when I went camping with the wife and everything, she took her Jeep. I left to come back home in the morning, and for the simple fact that, yeah, I had to go to work the next day, and that gave me God, that gave me all day to get the camper off the truck, unload the camper, get everything in the house, and I could take my time. I didn't have to rush. I wasn't coming home at 7 o'clock at night trying to get everything done, ending up going to bed
Right.
at midnight and everything. So, yeah, so that worked out. So I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah, I always take an extra day when I vacation like this. That way, I'm not rushed to go to work the next day. I got to say we got home. It was shortly before dark, and it was rainy, miserable all day. So he's putting shit away. Some of it was
Yep.
wet. I got to do that today. I got to repack the tents and all that stuff today.
Hmm.
Broom them out. That's once this dew burns off. That's
Right.
thicker than. We had a hell of a fog last night, so I wouldn't want to go out and walk in the grass in my sneakers right now.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, it's funny. This in Virginia. All right. Now I put my pool up early spring, and normally I have got to top that thing off. I have got to fill it up 3 or 4 times during the summer. This thing has been overflowing all summer. We've had so much rain and wet weather and everything, but I'm not complaining. Good morning. Good morning. This is my daughter and grandkids and everything right here. Just popped in.
Good
So,
morning.
yeah. So I got to say good morning to Ty. I got to say good morning to Max. Good morning to Darius. And good morning to Perseus. And good morning to Amber. But anyway, who'd you meet? Who'd you hang around with and everything up there? I'm sorry.
We met everybody.
Cool.
Saying it's nice no name is like you go there and you already know 70% of the people.
Yep.
You almost know them by name when they're coming in the gate. You go to any other event, you're lucky to know the person on either side of you by the time the weekend's out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the videos that everybody's been putting up, the burnout videos and some of the drag videos and everything. And yeah, it looked like everyone had a blast. It looked like it was a lot of fun.
If you look up Junk Car Willie,
I haven't.
he puts
No,
out
but
a lot of it.
okay,
Junk
cool.
Car Willie. Junk Car Justin is his son.
Okay.
They got a couple videos of me on there. It's like, oh, cool. They got me
Awesome.
from the stand because one guy is Shane. His nickname's Professor P.
Okay.
Slant Daily Garage. He loaned me a set of drag radials for the weekend, which was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Big difference. First time I ever used drag radials. It's like I kind of like these.
Oh, good.
Because I put that second 4-barrel on there for this year.
So did you get the second carb?
Second
did
carb,
you get
yeah.
the second carburetor all set up and everything?
Yeah. It was weird because I put the first one on. Jason's Garage ended up sending me that. He ordered one off Amazon and sent it to me because we had talked about an Edelbrock a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And he ended up using it, and rather than empty it and package it and send it, he just ordered me a knockoff.
Okay.
Which the first day it ran like shit. It was right at dark, so he put it away, and the next day and fired it up, and it's like it ran fine.
I got you. Like, that might have just been the seals and gaskets and everything. A little bit from sitting. A little bit a little bit hard and a little bit shrunk. From what
I figured it just had to get through all the passages like it should,
yep.
and this and that.
Yep.
I ended up bought a second one to match it. I figured if I was going to have a shit carburetor, I might as well have a matching set of shit carburetors.
That was on my end.
I'm sorry, that was on my end.
we kind of lost each other here. I lost my signal real quick.
Well,
So
I didn't notice anything on this end.
yeah, so all right, give me 1 second here. Hi Darius, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm sorry, you had said you'd bought a second one to match it, and then we lost the connection for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I put that one on. And it acted real funky the first day too, just like the first one. But the next day, it seemed to run fine. It's like we're going to go with it.
Cool.
It ended up they ran great the weekend. Did a little bit of tuning on it, idle mixture screws and shit, but I couldn't complain. I thought I was going to have issues out there and embarrass myself, but they ran surprisingly well for a knockoff.
Awesome. You know what? I've heard two things about the knockoffs. One is good, and that is from what I've heard a lot of people say is that you can go and buy the actual Edelbrock rebuild kits and internals and everything you need, and all the original equipment seals, and it'll go right in, no problem. But and this is on the sort of a bad part. The castings on them, and a lot of people have said this, they notice a weight difference. So the material that they're made out of are a little different. And what they found is, especially with with our alcohol added to the fuel, it builds up, that white powder in them a lot quicker than the older ones. Again, that's not a big deal though if you're aware of it. And those Edelbrocks are easy enough to clean out, And if you don't let it sit for too long, it ain't a big deal.
I just plan on running mine dry for the winter.
Yeah.
But we did better than last year. I ran a 10-1 last year twice. And this year I managed a 10-02.
Awesome.
But I wanted a 9.
I got you. Well, you're getting there. You're making progress, though. You're going the right way.
I still consider it a win. Next year will be a little different. I'm putting another motor in it next year, and it'll definitely get me in the 9s then.
I got you.
The question is how deep in the 9s.
Yep.
So I got a motor tranny. I got to order a torque converter yet. So once I get all that, I'm probably going to twist a drive shaft or strip the rear gears out of it.
Yeah.
It needs another rear end upgrade, but I don't want to do too much at once. Hey, for Damien, first responder.
I gotta say, speaking of the devil, I was talking about you earlier, Damien, and so maybe your ears were burning or something. Nothing bad. It was all good.
Nothing good about Damien. I'm sorry. Nothing but good.
Yeah.
About Damien. Yeah, he's always treated me great too.
Oh man,
he camped.
I can't say enough.
He camped next to us down there, pretty close.
Oh, cool.
He's in our neighborhood because there's different neighborhoods down there in the pits.
Oh, okay.
You got the Bad Tree Production group down there, and you got the Dust Devil group down there, and you got over here we got, JB's Little Shop, Mohawk 62, and Junkyard D, and First Responder. We're all in that. We all got our own little neighborhoods.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
It's pretty cool.
It is, man. That is awesome. Yeah, from what Damien was telling me too, he had a great time. So that is so cool, and I'm glad. Like I said, you're improving, so that you're showing good progress. You're coming. You're going the right way with that, and as far as now, not just throwing out numbers and everything, but going from the 5-barrel. How did you? How did it feel? I mean, sitting there,
there's a noticeable
seat of the pants.
Yeah, there's a noticeable difference because that 5 barrel, well, that 1 barrel on the back of it, it was asthmatic. It was always
Yep.
sucking air. It just never could get it.
I
But
gotcha.
that second 4 barrel made it quite a bit of difference.
Another question. The kid in me is coming out. How'd it sound? Was there a difference in the
Not
pitch
too
and
much
tone?
different, but there was a little bit of difference in the sound, but you could feel it in the seat of your pants. Definitely.
I gotcha. Because
I'm
it just
hoping to get these set up that way. When I put that other motor in, the carburetors are already set up for the engine break in and all that.
what size carbs were they?
600s.
600s? I gotcha.
Yeah, daytime we had drag race time, and then evenings we had drinking time and having fun in the pits. Had a slow monkey bike.
Oh, yeah.
challenge. Slow monkey bike.
Okay.
See who could go the slowest.
Yep.
They had to always make forward progress, and their feet can't touch the ground. So
I gotcha. That I would actually find fun myself. I don't know if I can do it anymore because I'm getting old, but
it was fun just watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, sounds like a good time was had. Damn. Like I said, I'm really really gonna try next year. Even I won't have anything to put on the track. I know that, but I'd just like to go up there and be able to go up there and hang out and meet everyone in person. You know what I mean?
Well, you can take your daily driver out there. It doesn't matter what you take.
Well, my daily driver will have a 2,000-pound camper on the back of it, so I don't want to ruin the
It might
wife's.
slow you down a little bit.
Well, it's not just that. I don't want to mess up the wife's cutlery and her plates, and not to mention her
all the goodies in the back.
Yeah, not to mention the camper itself would only weigh about 1,500 pounds, but if I take the wife with me, all her accessories are going to bring it up to probably 3,000 pounds. If you ever picked up one of her suitcases or packs, I mean, I have a backpack that she can actually fit
so
in.
It offsets each other.
I usually use my engine hoist to bring everything out and put it in the camper. See, I can get away with that because she's sleeping right now and she don't watch my videos, so I can say that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of everything there. We had cars that were almost into fours, and saying even Turbo Tom brought his Model T, Model A, I forget which one, but
I saw that. I saw that. Matter of fact, I was talking to the wife last night. I said, I'd love to get a Model T. She's like, why? I said, because nobody would be able to drive the damn thing except for me.
Right.
I said, you got 3 pedals on the floor, and none of them are the gas pedal. And I said, and I just love old mechanical things like that anyway. As a matter of fact, when I get this new engine in my truck, there's not going to be a whole lot of people going to be able to start the thing, let alone drive it, because I'm going to put a manual choke on it. And so they'll probably never get the damn thing started.
Right. Yeah, I gotta put out some video. It's like everybody's been overwhelming the internet with No Name Nationals. I figured I'll give it a couple weeks till it tames down a little bit. Plus, there's other people that video I want to get.
Yep.
Because there's LP94. He was taking videos all weekend. He was like between the lanes, and Junk Car Willie was over in the stand, so I'll be able to get different views of, runs down the track.
Oh, and here's another little interesting thing for putting up videos. The 15th of this month, starting the 15th of this month, you'll be able to put up 3-minute long shorts instead of 1-minute long shorts, as long as it's on the vertical screen.
Portrait.
Yeah, and that might be good, for you, you can put up a bunch of those shorts, you know, and everything. And right now they're promoting them too, so I get you a lot of views as well. And Damien, it's,
Surgery?
yeah, he had surgery on his arm, and I saw a video he's got up, and man, I could relate because I've had to have they had to give him a nerve. They had to numb the nerve in his arm, and he's walking
Mhm.
around, and his arms you can't move it, and it feels
Just
weird and
dangling.
everything. Yeah, and I've had that before, man, and I'm like, "Ugh." I broke my hand, okay, once, and well, more than once, but I broke my hand, and I went to work, and after 10 days, I'm like, yeah, there's something wrong. It's not healing. So I went and I saw the doctor, and they got me in a week later. So it's been almost 3 weeks and they had to break it again to reset it. And they gave me
Stuff
that
like that.
damn nerve blocker shot. That hurt more than my hand had been bothering me from when I first broke it for the 3 weeks that I went around while it was healing and, bones sticking out and everything. That hurt more. If I ever have to go through that again, I'm gonna skip that numbing. Just go ahead and re-break it. I mean, my God, that it. Have you ever grabbed onto a 220-volt AC wire and got zapped? It felt
Nope.
like that. My whole body. I mean, this is my hand. They gave me the shot. God, I can't even remember where they gave me the shot, but they gave me a shot somewhere up along this arm. I felt it all the way down to my left pinky toe when that thing hit. It was just like a shock going right through my whole body. But Damien, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off. If you want to hop on here and tell us how you're doing, how things are going, I'm a little bit interested in. And good morning, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. For the longest time, I thought Daniel Berry Sports was just a bot that would come on because every time I came on, it'd be good morning, and then they'd disappear. But there's a real person behind them. I did not know that.
I
And
know.
I do apologize for that, Daniel. I really do. I didn't
Well, you
know, but
can't be too careful nowadays because you don't
yeah,
know what's a bot and
yep. But hey, I appreciate him showing up every morning, even if it's just a drive-by hello. I do appreciate it. Now I
yeah.
know that there's actually somebody behind there. Yeah. Hey, hi, how you doing? See ya.
Beep beep.
But
It's
yeah,
nice to be acknowledged.
yeah, it is. It is. And I mean, I got a small channel here, so especially on my lives, if I got more than 3 people, it's like, whoa, whoa, I got a busy channel this morning.
You're
Awesome.
gonna have to go get more chairs.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Damien, buddy, actually, if you're still here, I'm showing 2 people watching, so I'm assuming you're still on. How you doing, my friend? How's the arm? Did you know once that nerve blocker wore off? How were you doing, man? Because I will tell you what, I've been there before. And give me a second. Give me a second, Damien. Damien's coming on. There you go, buddy. How
Hey
you
man.
doing?
Good morning. How is everyone?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just finished my first cup of coffee. I might leave you two alone here for a minute in a few minutes to go grab a second cup. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, I got to brew some coffee. I just woke up.
Ah, I
I just
see.
wanted to say you look like you just climbed out of bed.
Yeah,
When I was laying in bed
so
this morning, it's like I can't lay here. Figured I'd get up, make breakfast. If it's still wet outside, I'll take a nap.
well, I had some good drugs to take, so I was pretty knocked out for the most part.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. So how you doing? How's your arm feeling?
Well, I was feeling good up until yesterday. So the day before I had the surgery,
Yep.
and the day after, Mom's like, "Hey, I gotta go pick up this horse." Long story short, There's a story on Facebook about this kid who lost 2 horses during the lightning storm, right? And he's a rider, he's a barrel rider. Well, my mom, she's like, well, I got this horse, I bought it, I trained it. It's purebred Appaloosa. Let me just go ahead and I'll talk to the kid and I'll let him ride the horse. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. She'll take back the horse, right? Well, about a year goes by, and come to find out that he never rode the horse, never even tried. And they called my mom asking for the papers right away to get him signed over because my mom never signed over the papers, right?
Right.
Well, we had our suspicions that maybe they got her pregnant or whatever, right? From the text messaging back and forth. And so we just showed up yesterday. Well, we saw Sophia, the horse, and she had a fall
Oh, okay.
right next to her.
Yep.
And that's like that was not part of the deal. She was never supposed to get pregnant. And
Yep.
so one thing led to another, tensions ran high. My arm got tore out of the sling.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was fun times at Ridgemont High.
Damn.
Yeah,
Man, some people are so grateful, ain't they?
Yeah.
yeah. So they know it's her horse. We got it on film that they're saying it's her horse, right? Oh, she come to get her horse, and they still didn't let her have the horse. So the sheriff came by and was like, "Yeah, well, even though it's your horse, it's on their property."
Oh, God.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We got the papers with us.
Yeah. That's,
Eh,
The old possession's 9/10 of the law.
yeah, but,
They
But
say.
right.
if it's on
100
someone
years-
else's property,
Yeah.
you got to go through the court system.
Yeah. And that's unreal. I mean,
I mean, we had the
that
sheriff
that
right
would
there.
be, yeah, that
The
would be
sheriff
like,
could have been like, "It's her horse. Let her take it." And
Yeah.
by the way, that's her fall now.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like showing up to somebody's house with your title and your registration for your car, and the
Yeah.
sheriff saying, "Nope, you can't have it because it's on their property."
Right.
Excuse me? I own the damn thing. No matter where it's at, it's mine. This isn't like it's a stove or a refrigerator or something else where, yeah, possession's 9/10 of the law because you can't really prove what's going on.
Right.
This is the way I look at it. It's more of a vehicle. Now, with that being said, too, just think about this. Even in my father's time, 110 years ago, that's grounds for hanging because that's horse
It is.
thievery.
It's horse thievery. Yeah. It's actually a felony.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do anything about it. It's a felony staring at them right in the face. It's a Class C felony.
Yep.
And they didn't do anything about it. And
That's
supposedly
frustrating.
this Fentner guy in Alabama, he's some sort of auctioneer or whatever. He thinks he's big time and acts like he's big time, but he's not. So, and he's an auctioneer. So we knew what he was going to do at that point when we saw that Fiona had or Sophia had the fall. So.
Oh, dude, I'm
messed
sorry
up.
to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, my arm's a little sore. She bit me.
Oh,
I got
God.
bite marks on it.
Oh, Christ. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad had horses and everything, so I grew up with them. And my God, yeah. Just the reason why he got got rid of all the horses is basically, well, one, they're expensive to keep.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the most expensive was the insurance on them. Believe it or not. That was that was the final straw. Of course, he had 13 horses, so
Oh.
you know, it that adds up.
Whew.
That adds up.
Oh man. So I just want to pop on here and say hi, and
I'm glad
before I get my
we only had
coffee. Who's that?
One-eyed cat. Go ahead. You only had what? Oh,
it's saying we only had pigs and chickens when we was growing up.
oh, I got you. I got you.
But that was all.
Yeah,
that was all to
why
provide
can't-
meat.
Why can't my wife be in the pigs and Well, she's in the chickens. We got those too, but damn it. I got enough eggs to do. I don't know what to do with all these eggs.
Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah, when you start, I'm going to sell them, and it's like after a little bit, you just trying to give them away.
Yep.
They eat better than I do.
Yeah.
She buys these really tall, humongous organic spices, right? She's got turmeric, she's got oregano, she's got crushed red pepper, all organic in these big, huge and she makes them their own food, and it
Yep.
ferments. I'm like, these damn birds are eating better than I am.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that's they're being seasoned as they grow.
Yeah.
So when it's time to get rid of them, you ain't got to add any seasoning to them. You just throw them in the pot and you're good to go.
Jeez, oh man. She's like, well, it's good for the. I mean, the yolks are. I mean, they're beautiful. It's even like a dark yellow, and
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. My
nice and
nephew.
rich.
Yeah, my nephew and his girlfriend. They have chickens and hens and everything, and yeah, plethora of eggs and
Jeez.
everything. And but my nephew. My nephew is a little bit vindictive. He likes to tease the chickens. Anytime he is cooking any type of bird on the grill, especially, he'll chase the damn things around, showing them. See, this is what's going to happen. Especially if one had pecked at him or something, he'll chase that one around with the dead bird and go, "You're next."
They're smart. I mean, they look stupid, but they're smart. Those are smart birds. They know what's
yeah.
going on.
Yep.
Well,
That's
any animal's smart. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't
Yeah.
give them enough credit.
yeah.
See,
All
my
right,
cousin
guys.
has chickens.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
How many?
Half
many
a dozen
chickens?
and a rooster. The rooster's real protective, man. Though
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
What kind of
when they-
rooster?
I couldn't tell you. A mean one.
Oh,
Well, he won't attack you, but he'll intimidate you.
okay. Yeah, as long as you don't go after him, he'll never. He's always testing. The rooster's always going to test you. But as long as you don't react, he'll leave you alone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he protects those hens. His hens.
Good.
He's
Growing
very
up, my
possessive
dad-
of it.
My dad always got barred rock roosters. He
Barred
always
rock.
Yeah, barred rock, and that's he got them for their neck feathers because he was a big fly fisherman.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, they're well back in the
okay. Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the 70s and everything. Especially, well, I'm also talking regional New England area.
Yeah.
You couldn't help but catch something with those flies. Made out of the barred rock rooster feathers.
Yeah.
I mean, it just for whatever reason, the fish up there, they just loved them, especially the salmon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they would go crazy. So yeah, my dad used to
What's
always
that
have some
one
barred rock roosters for
Veronica? What's that one rooster we have? It's like blue feathers, purple feathers, and
American.
it's Americana.
American.
That's it.
He's an American.
We got an Americana rooster. It has like this,
Hey,
and they're off.
Yep.
So it has these blue and purple
Dang it.
and green feathers. I mean, it's beautiful bird, but all right, I got to get going, guys.
All right, buddy. Philip the third just popped on. Philip, we've been on for about an hour and 9 minutes and 57 seconds.
Come here. Come.
All right,
But-
all right,
All
guys.
right, man, you take care, buddy.
All right.
All right, see you, Don. See you, Mark.
Take
We'll
care,
see you,
Damien.
bud. Yeah, Philip, we've been on for about an hour or so. I just came out here, I was having my coffee, and just popped on. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with your end, Philip. I think it's just because I just come out and set everything up, and then 3 minutes later, I'm online. So I don't think it sends out a notice or anything. You know.
Yeah, I just refreshed my page and it showed you were on. It's like, oh,
Yep.
that's what I'm doing. Rather than watch a bunch of bullshit YouTube that I get nothing out of.
Right. You can come on and see a live stream that's just full of nothing but a bunch of bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things. You know, my live streams on the weekend, I very rarely have any pre-planned topic or anything. I just sit here and babble, and hopefully somebody hops on and babbles with me.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Yeah, I
I got your
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Now, I did have another question. Did Bear Rose get up to No Name at all?
No, he didn't make it this year.
He didn't make it. Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, he was there last year. Didn't make it this year.
Yep.
But I understand people's got, other things that take priority, but he would love to make it. But there's there's a handful of people that didn't make it for different reasons, but
Yep, I know he was talking about it, and that's why I thought he went too, because his Sunday Night Lives and some of his videos been a little bit spotty. So I figure either he went or he's just been busy.
actually he returned to the workforce, and job he got, he couldn't get away. Which, when I started my job last year, I told him up front that I wouldn't be there in September. I didn't care if I had vacation or if I was going to get points or whatever. It's like, I ain't going to be there. But I ended up, acquired enough sick time and vacation time that it covered. I even got off 2 hours early on Monday so we could load the trailer.
I gotcha.
And now, what is it? 5 days is my 1 year anniversary. So
Okay.
I have to look at my stub and see what vacation hours and sick time accrues. You get like 0.7 hours a week. So, that builds up. But vacation days, they throw you a handful.
Yeah. See, a lot of times I will save all my vacation time. I get 4 weeks, and I will save some of that for the shutdown. The contract that I'm under, the place that we're contracted to, shuts down for roughly 3 weeks, starting in December, and it's usually almost the whole month of December, and I don't have to go back to work until the 2nd or 3rd of January. And the thing with that is they do pay me. Okay. They pay me $150 a day, and I make twice that. Okay. And so what I do is,
getting paid nothing.
oh yeah, it is. But what I try to do, because this is the holiday season as well, in 3 weeks, I can handle a week at $150 a day. I can handle that, but we're getting towards, the holidays. I got grandkids, got food and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I usually do is I usually get my time off pay and my vacation time on top of that. Because come the springtime too, Christ, for 2 months, April and May, I think there's only 1 week that I work a full 5-day week. the rest of the time I either have 3 or 4 day work weeks, and 3 or 4 day, weekends off. I get paid for them, again, $150 for each extra day. And then in the summer, they shut down for another 2 weeks over July. And again, I get the $150. So a lot of times I don't take vacation. I just use that to supplement my shutdown pay. And good morning,
Right.
Twisted Mopar Garage. But this year I was planning on using my vacation during the No Name Nationals. That didn't work out. Again, that's what I'm planning on doing next year. I'll take my vacation
No plan.
and then just kind of plan and save a little bit more to get me through the 3 weeks during the Christmas time shutdown. But yeah, with my job, I can't really complain. I mean, honestly, I actually only work, what I have it figured out, 46 weeks out of a 52-week year, and that's 5 days a week. So I have, if you count all the shutdowns and all the time I get paid off, not including my vacation, I get 6 weeks off every year.
I can't argue that.
Hey, Twisted Mopar, here we go again, says Philip III. And Twisted Mopar said hi there, one-eyed.
Yeah, we see each other on a bunch of lives across the week.
Cool. And like I said, the link, if anybody else wants to hop on, the link is at the top of the comments here. And because a lot of time I'll try and put it back on, but a lot of times this thing just argues with me. I don't know if it's the computer itself. This is an old computer. Yeah, it's not letting me post the link again. But anyway, it's at the top. If anybody else wants to pop in. And me and Philip and One-Eyed are around a lot lives. Okay.
Well, it's nice getting that's some with the days getting shorter. It used to be there in the summer when it didn't get dark till 9:30. It'd be time to come in, get a shower, and go straight to bed.
Oh yeah.
Now it's getting dark at 7. We got a little bit of time in the evenings, but it sucks. I don't have that outside time.
Oh, I got you. That's well, that's why I say once I get the truck going, and I'm sure it's going, I'll be changing up my content a little bit and doing a lot more easy stuff where I do have access to the shed. That's where my wood stove is, and out behind right in front of the shed, I got my grill, and then to the other side I have the fire, and it's lit. I can turn the lights on, and I'll be doing something a little bit different. And something where I don't have to have a light and try to show everyone the underside of the truck or, whatever I'm working on outside as far as automotive goes. So that's why I say I'll be, because of that, it's getting darker. I'll at least I'll have the lights, I'll be able to go out in the shed, do a few little things. And it'll also be a change up for me too, because I'm so tired of working on this transmission.
Like that. You're right, Twisted. Barrows did take a new job. That's why he didn't make it to No Name.
Yep. Yeah, we were just talking about.
Everybody, you need the benefits and the extra income, and benefits is a big part for me. It's not so much the money I make, but the benefits you get. I took this job just to buy car parts, and I kind of like having a couple extra dollars left over now.
Oh yeah. And don't say that too loud. Somebody will be sitting there going, "Oh, he's got a couple extra bucks. What can we increase on his bills?"
Yeah, it's more taxes for Don.
Yeah. Yeah, and oh yeah, it's tough out there. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. It is rough. Oh, oh, hold on one second, guys. Honey, sweetie, baby doll, love of my life.
What do you want?
could you make me another cup of coffee, please? Yeah, that's exactly what she said, Dawn. What do you want now? Yeah.
I know, I'm married too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. You know, everybody thinks it's so cute that I call her honey, sweetie, baby doll, and everything. I just didn't want to admit that I forgot her name 10 years ago, and I just, yeah, I find it might be embarrassing to ask her, hey, what's your name anyway?
Okay. Well, when the mail shows up.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
Anytime me and the wife call each other, it's like if I don't answer with "Hey, babe," she's like, "What? Oh, hey, babe." Yeah, that's what I thought. But we just had our 30th anniversary at No Name, so
Awesome. Congratulations.
yep. I'm the only one in my family that still got the original spouse.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. That is
I'm glad
awesome.
I got lucky to start, so I have no
Yep.
complaints.
Yeah, no, both
She
me
takes
and my
care of
wife,
me better than I do.
both me and my wife, we had to do the practice run first, and then we found each other.
Practice.
Twisted Mopar. Yeah. I'm retired. It's crazy. I work on few side jobs. It's turned into full-time job. Yeah, I can
Wow,
understand
you
that.
got to stay
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
You got to stay out of the chair. You can't let the
Yeah.
old man in.
You know, it's I truly believe that's why my father lived so long. He retired in 1977 off the railroad. About a year later, he got a job working construction. And then when he got when that got a little bit too hard for him, he got another job just as a handyman, maintenance and everything. And he kept busy his whole life. I mean, he really did. He kept going. And even when he wasn't working, he had his garden. Okay. And what you have to understand is his garden was 3 friggin' acres.
That's the way it was when I was a kid.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't quite 3 acres, but we had enough. That's back when you had to live off the land. You didn't have to go to the grocery store for, peas and the corn and the,
God.
all the
Yeah.
other beans. I
Yep.
remember coming home from school and have to go out and weed the beans.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
She used to challenge us to see who could make the bigger pile of weeds.
Uh-huh.
I think it was just a ploy to get us to motivated.
Oh, it
But it
is.
worked.
It is.
I
I
know.
do the same thing to my grandkids. But that's just so I don't have to do it. You know?
Right.
But I'll
And
tell
I
you what.
remember we always worked in the garden in our bare feet. She's like, I ain't going to clean your shoes 5 days a week.
Yep. Yep. I have an older video out, and it shows my wife out front vacuuming the grass. Okay. And it struck me as so funny and so ridiculous. I had to make a video of it. But the backstory to that was me and my brother-in-law were moving a table, and there was a big old glass mug on top.
I was going to say
And
there must have been glass involved.
Yeah, and it hit the concrete walkway going up to the steps to the front of the house and just shattered. And like you were saying, that's where we have the little herb garden and everything is out front. And the grandkids, they don't run around. They're not allowed to run around out back in bare feet because that leads to my workshop. And there's nails, there's
Right.
everything out back. But out front, we keep the front clean and it's fenced in. They're always out front in their bare feet. And we cleaned up as much of the glass as we could, but you could still see some sparklies in the grass.
Yep.
And so she did. She went out there with the vacuum and cleaned it up. But it was just so friggin' hilarious because she had been sleeping. And so she comes out, not dressed, hair is not done, nothing on, just woke up, pissed at us for doing it, and just started vacuuming. And oh my God, yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm like, nobody's going to believe this shit. So
I
I
can
took a
see the
video.
attitude. I could see the attitude of her coming out the door and with
Yeah.
broken glass.
Oh
After
yeah, she
No,
she was not happy. Not happy. But like I said, it just looks so ridiculous. I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Boom, camera's out. And we can change the subject now because she's back with my coffee. Oh, you heard the whole thing. Oh, I see why you didn't throw the coffee at me. It's not hard enough to leave scars.
but did
Oh,
it
it's
clean up
not.
the glass? Did it clean
Yeah,
up
it
the
did.
glass?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's all
It
that
did.
matters.
Yeah, yeah. We got it all cleaned up. And so I mean, the three of us there, we understood what was going on and everything, but it was just such a sight. First thing in the morning,
Good
neighbors
job,
are.
Harry.
Yeah. Hey, Don. Don said, "Good job on cleaning up the glass from the grass." Yeah,
honey.
honey. Yeah, I'm just gonna move the heavy ashtray over to this side.
Boy, you don't see those ashtrays anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna give her the lighter one so that when it bounces off my head, it's
Yeah,
not that bad. Oh,
it won't. It won't leave a gash.
yeah, not as much anyway. Yeah.
Not as much, anyway.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. She's more afraid of breaking the glass one because, like you said, you don't see them that much anymore.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so she ain't worried about denting my head. She's more worried about breaking the
Yep.
damn ashtray. Yeah,
Well, she's got her priorities straight.
exactly. Got to have your
Well,
priority.
well, you'll heal. The glass won't.
Yeah, yep. Oh, good Lord. So speaking of the missus, how's your wife doing?
Pretty good. She's
Good.
saying we're back to normal life after No Name. But saying we stopped at my uncle's on the way out, and rather than just take advantage of his hospitality once a year, we're gonna take next weekend and go out and visit for the weekend so we can actually visit.
I gotcha.
He's getting up in years and he needs time. He needs, he's lost a lot of people over the years.
Oh yeah. Yep, I know it. I'm getting to that age where I'm seeing it and experiencing it myself too. Because
we're all getting closer to the top of the ladder.
yeah, and the problem is, I grew up and I met a lot of older people, an older crowd. Always felt more comfortable with them.
Mhm.
Just again because I was late in life baby. My folks were older, and so all their friends and everything, were older. And I just seemed to click with the older generation. And so a lot of them, 20, 25 years older than me, that puts them in their 70s, 80s
Yeah.
and everything. And yeah, unfortunately, they're disappearing. And we got Philip the Third. Hey, buddy.
Philip, good morning.
Hey guys,
Good morning,
going on?
sir.
He's already
Oh,
out
no.
and
let me
about.
see if I can get the camera right.
Hey, there you go. Nothing, just
Yeah.
just a typical Saturday morning sitting here yakking about whatever comes to mind. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I've already been out here putzing around trying to figure things out, try to get rid of crap,
I
that
got
kind
you.
of thing. It's been raining here for the last
2
2
weeks.
days now, and yesterday was a total washout. So even though it's not raining now and the sun's trying to shine, everything's just saturated. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all we're doing around here. In fact, I've been out here for about an hour, and I started getting a little hungry, so I thought I'd go in to see what I can make to eat when I saw that you were on. So I just decided to jump on here real quick.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'm glad to have you, buddy. You didn't miss me this time.
Well, not completely. I guess you've only been on an hour.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. You
That's
know
not
how.
long for you.
No, it's
You know?
not. Yeah, I can babble about anything. Well, I can babble about nothing for the longest amount of time.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing really new to report here. And my time is getting short here. I've got less than 60 days now,
Ooh.
and I really haven't gotten a whole lot done. I'm kind of disappointed in myself, you know.
Well, you got a lot to do, man. You got
I got a lot to
to
do.
do.
A lot of crap. A lot of crap got to go. I'm just thinking I just might just hire a big dumpster and have them back it up in the driveway and just start throwing crap out, you know.
That's the easiest
Oh,
way.
I got you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's a shame though, because I know if you're anything like me, it's kind of like, oh, I know as soon as I throw this away, I'm going to find a use for it. I'm going to need it, or either that, or I've had this for X amount of years.
yeah.
Or you never use it. It doesn't matter. I've grown
Yeah.
attached to it now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was doing just this morning. I was in my tool room, just kind of looking at stuff. And I know I haven't touched a lot of that stuff, but I hate to get rid of it. I hate to just throw it out,
Yeah.
you know. Here's where I'm at, though. I still need to get. See, I talked with one of the neighbors about moving one of these portable storage buildings
Yep.
onto their property. So I got a place to put all the stuff I want to keep, you know, because I'm not so sure exactly what I'm doing yet, you know, or where I'm going or whatever. But
Right.
there's a lot of stuff I don't want to get rid of. You know, out here in Florida, you got to have a power generator, and then you got to
Yeah.
have a backup power generator for your power generator. So
Yeah.
you don't get rid of those. You know, you hang on to those. Don't want to get rid of anything of my welding, any of my car stuff. You know, any of those tools, that kind of stuff, or this engine that I have, this 350 engine. But I'd sell it if I got my price. You know.
Yep.
But otherwise, there's so much other stuff that I think I'll have to call the Goodwill or somebody. Maybe I should do that first. Call them first. Have them come out and just take whatever they want. You know.
Well,
a
here-
lot of my wife's clothes that still have to be gone yet. I haven't touched any of that stuff since she died. You know. So it's just this room's just full of that kind of stuff. It's funny though. When I've been having these yard sales, and all the stuff that she'd been collecting over time, nobody wants.
Oh
But all
God.
my stuff, everybody wants to buy from me. You know, they want to buy stuff I don't want to part with.
I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
Yeah, I go to yard sales. I ask where the dad section is.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
A lot of yard
I'll go
sales.
straight
don't
to a
have that.
garage or something. You know, I start doing that kind of stuff, and that's exactly what happened here. In fact, I sold some stuff that I probably, well, it's not that I shouldn't have sold it. I just wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
Like one of them being my router table.
Oh.
I really didn't want to have to part with that. But I still have a router and I still got all my bits. So, you know, a lot of my woodworking stuff I'm hanging on to. I'm surprised that because I got bar clamps, buku,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I'm surprised that nobody was interested in buying a bar clamp, you know.
Oh, good Lord.
I got a dovetail jig, no one's interested. And I got a good price on it, only $25 for a dovetail jig.
Oh
And
man.
you can't buy one for that, you know. So, but and stuff like that, I think I'll part with because you know that's a lot of cabinetry stuff, and I just don't plan on doing much more of that.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And
I
you
think
you
I'm
know the funny thing is, speaking from my perspective, when it comes to stuff like that, like you said, I'll never get back into this or anything.
Yeah.
I would rather give it away. If I can't sell it, I would rather
Yeah.
give it to somebody than just toss it in the dumpster. At least it's just a psychological thing. At least I'm passing it on
Yeah.
Right.
to
So that's
somebody.
the thing with like the Goodwill or the Rescue Mission. They got these
Right.
retail stores, and of course you're donating it to them. You know, otherwise they won't come and pick it up.
Right.
You know, they're not going to give you anything for it. But what they will do is they'll give you a receipt for everything, and at least you can deduct that off your taxes, you know,
Yep.
as a
Right.
donation. But I think they limit you to, I think the tax law limits you to only like $3,000 or
Yeah.
something like that. It's like there's another fella that in fact he's got another one coming up, but last year he had one of these drag races for a cure kind of thing, you know. And I donated $500 to the cause, and that gets you a sponsorship, get your name up on the sponsorship roll and that kind of stuff. But when I went to do my taxes, my accountant told me that, oh, that's not enough to even mark down on your taxes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, so what? I got it. And then the maximum that they'll allow you to deduct is $3,000 in charities. So
Yep.
I'm like, you know, what the hell is that? You know, 500 is not enough to deduct, and 3,000 is the maximum. What the hell? So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the government don't want you to keep any of your money or anything. That's all
Right.
theirs, because that's their income. That's
Yeah.
that's how they make their money, and they got to
Yeah.
have that money so they can give it to other people that don't want to work.
But I know the businesses, big corporations, they get huge tax breaks.
Oh yeah.
The wealthy, they get all the tax breaks. They end up paying no income tax. The super wealthy, you know, because they got to figure it out. It's like Donald Trump said. He says, "I know the laws."
Oh yeah.
You know.
At least he was straight up with it. He's like,
Yep.
hey, I know the law, I know the tax code. He said, I do the same thing you guys do. The only difference is I admit to it. And
Yeah.
if you don't like what I'm doing, change it.
Owns it.
He
Yeah.
said, other than that, you're doing
Yeah.
the same thing I'm doing. You're just pretending not to.
Yep. Oh well, I'm not going to get too much into the politics right now. It's
Oh no,
it's not
no,
my
no,
thing.
no,
there's-
no.
there's
Especially
too
not
much
on some
politics
public
right
forum
now,
like
and-
this, because you just well, it's just not my thing.
Well, here's the thing. I have my own opinion and everything, but
Mhm.
I don't want to alienate half my viewers or half,
Yeah.
the people around.
Right.
I'd rather focus on stuff we have in common.
In common, right?
With that being said, whichever side you're on, I don't mind hearing about you bitch a little bit about it, the
Yeah.
opposite side and stuff. Not really going to get into a big discussion or anything about it,
Yeah.
but, other than
Well,
that,
I just
no
keep
big deal.
for me. It's not about being one side or the other. It's about that three-ring circus in Washington D.C. They're all a bunch of clowns, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and that's the other thing. We could go on and on and on and just go down so many rabbit holes with that.
Yeah.
And
Like here in the state of Florida, they've got 2 amendments that are up for a vote this election that they want you to vote on. And both of these issues, I don't have a dog in the fight. You know? So, one of them is the abortion issue, and the other one is the legalize the marijuana issue. And I'm like,
oh God, yeah.
neither one of those two affect me
Yeah.
one way or the other. Why do I got to vote on them?
Oh, I got you. It's one of the things yeah. And I got this from my folks too. I'm not into the government helping me
Yeah.
more, for everything, because no, the less they help me, it seems the better off I am. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, you see too much of it in everyday life anyway.
Yeah.
The government showing up to quote unquote help, and then next thing you know, these people are. It's like indentured
You can't get
servitude
away
at that point. They
Yep.
just so all up in your lives. I feel sorry for a lot of these people who have gotten like child and family services, for example, coming into their lives.
Oh
Boy,
yeah.
these people are all they're just right up your backside. They're so deep up in you. It's just crazy. And they keeping files on you, government files. No thanks.
Oh yeah. No, I got you. Just if I'm not bothering anyone, if I'm not breaking, I can't even say if I'm not breaking a law. I
Yeah,
mean, right
right.
here, there's so many laws I don't know about. I might be unintentionally breaking a law just by
Well,
breathing.
that's all they do is sit around and make laws. They can't do anything else. There's thousands and
Yep.
thousands of laws. In fact, if you remember when Ted Kennedy died. Okay,
Yep.
that's probably been 10 years or better now. And they was talking about his career and how long he's been in government and what all he's done. And here's the thing that I remember this statistic that they said that he himself alone introduced over 400 pieces of legislation into Congress, of
Yep.
which over 300 pieces of his legislation became law.
Yep.
So here's one guy, just one guy,
Oh yeah.
that's responsible for 300 new laws, just in the time that he's been there. And that's just one guy.
Yep.
They got hundreds of people up there, and they all, they're all trying to pass legislation that benefits them and their constituents,
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do understand that to a certain extent. It's just like anything in moderation,
Yeah. I don't
Uh,
care for all that special interest stuff. So,
No. No.
like for instance, the county that my wife came from, they had a senator there that he was originally from that county. He got the federal government to build an airport there in that county, and it hasn't been used in 50 years.
Yeah.
But tons of federal money went into building an airport that doesn't get used. That's that kind of stupid spending. Special interest crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, but anyway, going back to getting everything done at your house there, my friend, and getting everything cleaned up and all that good stuff. You're talking about your tools and a few other things. You never did let us know if your neighbor was going to let you put that
Oh yeah, well,
storage shed on.
that's still something in the works, So, but I think it'll happen. It's just that I'm running out of time and I need to get
Right.
that done. I've
Yeah.
got the money for it, to do that. I just got to get the green light. That's all.
Right. I got you. Because then get it over there, then you got to figure out what you're going to be putting in it and everything.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's just it. I can only get what I can afford,
right.
So that's going to limit me to size, and it's only about the size of my tool room already. So, and plus I got another shed out here that's got stuff in it I don't want to get rid of,
Yeah.
Plus, the deal with this property is that it states in the contract that because it's an as-is deal, the appliances have to stay, and they go ahead and start listing the appliances in the contract. What's noticeably missing from that contract, the list of appliances, is the washer and dryer. It's not in the contract, so that means I don't have to leave it behind, and I don't want to,
I gotcha. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but I went out for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
As well
know.
as a few other things too. But my point is this: that I'm just not going to have enough room in that storage building for everything that I want to hang on to.
I was going to say, you get that
And then
storage
so
building,
much
you
more
wanna
of it.
have it full too.
Yeah. I mean, like my welders and everything associated with my welder, I got an oxyacetylene torch that I want to hang on to. If I'm going to hang on to the welding stuff, I'm going to hang on to the torch.
Yep.
Hang on to all my leathers. Going to hang on to all the extra leads and the welding rods and, and the masks and shields and jigs and my welding table and that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah, a lot of that stuff, over the years, you kind of take it for granted that you have it and everything. You don't think anything about it because, at the time you got it,
Yeah.
all right, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks you paid for it and everything. And all of a sudden, 40 years later, you're like, I'll just get another one. What do you mean it's $500?
Yeah. Well, that's like here was the thing. I was just talking with a fellow because a fellow did ask me if I would sell my welder When I threw him a price, he thought it was way too much money for my welder. But I told him, I said, well, look, that price is not just for the welder. I says, if I'm going to sell the welder, you might as well get the leathers, get the helmet, get the welding rods, get the
Right.
welding stand, you know, whatever I got, because there's no sense of me hanging on to extra cable leads
Right.
and stingers and welding helmet and leathers and all that stuff when I don't have a welder. you know?
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to give it up, I'll give it all up.
I
You know?
got you.
It'll be a
So
truckload. by the
let
time
somebody
you're
else
done.
play with it, you know. But and really, the price that I was asking for, when you take into consideration everything you get, that's a heck of a deal, because now you're set up, ready to go. You've got everything
Right.
you need, you know. So that's why I'm trying to catch the attention of maybe some young fella that would like to learn how to start welding. Here's your starter kit. Here's your welder. Here's a welding table. Here's rods. Here's leathers. Here's a helmet. Here's gloves. You know, you're ready to go. Just turn it on. Start welding. You know.
Yeah. Did you
And-
think about making a video, you know, showing some of this stuff and go, hey guys, look, I need to get rid of, I got 60
Well,
days. Anybody
Actually, I
interested?
didn't think of that. I did not think of that, and that's a good idea. I should do just that. I've
Yeah.
got a little bit of welding I got to do right now, in fact. And what I'll do is I'll set it up, shoot a video of saying, okay, here's all my stuff. I got it all for sale, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll put my email up on my YouTube
you know, and
channel
if
so that
it's
people
for
can
whatever.
reach me, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
and then you can figure out who's gonna, you know, pay for shipping if they have to have it shipped or whatever, you know, and
Yeah.
you know that might just at least get it out there so you have some offers.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like with this cast iron that I have. I'd like to send it to you, send some of it to you, but cast iron, you know what that's going to cost in shipping?
Oh my
Jesus.
God, yeah. Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
know, even with the cast iron, that would be a good idea. And go on to even on Facebook, some of these
yeah,
cast iron channel, you'd be surprised how many people would be willing to pay for the shipping. You know, and it wouldn't. They'll send you the money. They'll pay for the shipping. You'd be surprised. A lot of people
well,
will do.
we've got a local marketplace internet thing here in the area too, but and I checked it out, and I just don't like all of the questions and qualifiers that it takes for you just to get logged on.
Oh,
You know, there's just too much up in your personal business with that, you know?
yep, yep. I
Mhm.
gotcha.
So, and that's another thing about Facebook. I don't like a thing about Facebook. So I just don't do Facebook, you know?
Oh, I got you. Well, what I'm saying is, though, if you do
Yeah.
go on Facebook and you look for these cast iron
Yeah.
forums and everything, a lot of them will have a link that's not, you know, to a web page, so you don't
Right.
have to actually go through the Facebook.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah. There was one that was sent to me. It was an invitation to a local social group just for this neighborhood,
oh, okay,
you know, just for this region of the county. And once again, you know, they're just all up in your business, you know,
Ah.
and asking you questions in the survey before you can even log on. You got to answer all these questions, and there's even political questions in there, and you know, that's none of their business.
no,
None of
I
their
got
business, you know. I mean, that's the reason why I'm here on YouTube. They don't ask a lot of questions. You know?
you. No, they don't. They don't. They don't. Especially 30 minutes into a live stream, then you're pretty well good to go with whatever you want to say or do.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it might be a good idea to make a few videos, you know, and with the stuff, you know, you want to get rid of, and
yeah.
just toss it out there. See if, you know, it's a fishing expedition. See if anybody bites.
Well, I did make a video like that when I first started the yard sale, and I just don't have the kind of audience that's, you know, even interested in it. So a lot of that stuff I ended up just taking down, you know. So
Well, what
Well,
you do, you
like-
make a few, you put them out, and if I see them, you know, I will plug you, and then
Yeah.
somebody else sees it. You know, you just use the whole community to help you get the word out.
yeah, yeah. So how about you, One Eye? What have you been up to?
Oh, not a lot. We just got No Name Nationals out of the way there a week or two ago, and
Yeah.
now it's back to this same old, same old. Trying to get ready for winter. These days are getting shorter. I gotta get stuff put away, and I think I mowed for the last time.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Down here in Florida, there is no winter, you know. In fact, some of the other tracks, they're ramping up for a lot of this other stuff, a lot of pro mod stuff and the other leagues, IDRL and that kind of stuff. You know, they're ramping up. They're getting ready.
Wow, I can see it getting busy down there, with everybody else shutting down for the winter.
Yeah.
So everybody
Especially
heads to Florida.
Bradenton. That Bradenton track, that's real popular because of that McFarland fella that's got that, what's he call it? His Shop America or something like that. You know, he's big. So, yeah, that draws a big, huge crowd over there. Plus, I know some other guys that are part of that whole organization over there. In fact, they've been inviting me. They've been wanting me to come down there. And I'm thinking I might make it in December, you know. So we'll see. But yeah, drag racing's always been a sport that I've always been into. Used to follow it real close, but
I never really got into it till No Name Nationals, and it turned out it worked out because I did a lot of work to the car that I would have never done. Made it a lot safer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how bad the car was until I started, that way I could pass tech and all that. And it's like, man, this thing was pretty bad shape.
I've been following that Power Tour thing from that Hot Rod Magazine was sponsoring since its inception, following it as close as I could anyway. Never did partake in it, but that always looks like fun, But and yeah, there's a lot of races, a lot of these small tracks that look like they're a.
Nope, you froze up, Philip. Cloud must have come by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that happens. Happens every now and then. But he was speaking of the small tracks right here in Richmond. We used to have a nice little local track I used to live right next to, and I used to love going to that every Friday night and everything. There you are, Philip. You're back. You froze up for a bit.
I was just about to click off.
Yeah, you had just started to talk about the small track.
Yeah, all the small tracks. I've been keeping up with what's been going on, and a lot of guys are talking about going to all these small tracks and stuff, and that looks like a lot of fun, and maybe that's something that I'll do, because that's been my plan all along. Just like I said, I felt like I've been sequestered here in these backwoods the last 15 years. Last time I went any place was in 2009. My wife and I went to that world's longest yard sale.
Okay.
and which starts in Gadsden, Alabama, and goes all the way up to Ohio. And we went up to Chattanooga, up near Chattanooga where my father is. And we went from Chattanooga to Crossville, Tennessee and back. And then back to Gadsden and that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's the last place I've been. And, now that my wife has passed, I just need to just sell off all of this stuff and just hit the road and go do something like that,
I gotcha.
Follow the drag race circuit,
Yeah, you were talking about that, and like you said, like a lot of these sports fans, they'll follow their team or they'll follow the, the sports schedule all over the place. Yeah. And you know what, being in Richmond too, with the Richmond Raceway here, I've met a lot of people years ago when I used to go to it. I met a lot of people that did just that. They'd just follow them from track to track, race to race, and everything, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I've been to a few that, like for instance, I've been to a number of the NHRA national events in a few different towns, and some of these guys that follow them, they got it set up. They got
Oh,
these big
yeah.
old huge motorhomes and satellite dishes up on top of them, and now that's the way to go. Now I don't need all that, but the idea of having a little pickup truck and a little teardrop camper trailer,
Yep.
and do it that way. You
Yeah.
know, I
Keep it
have a
simple.
teardrop camper trailer, but I need to rebuild it. So, and there's another thing that I don't want to get rid of, but I need to move it to a place where I can work on it.
Right.
I
Yep.
need to find somebody that will rent me the space to be able to work on it. Now I know of another neighbor lady. She's got a big old huge barn that she just rents out storage space. I could probably put it over there, but there's no power or water over there.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
only thing that I'd want to do, I have to bring with me.
Yep.
So, but what's there to rebuilding a teardrop camper? A few pieces of plywood, some 2x4s, a
Yeah.
table saw, chop saw, But yeah, it's in bad shape. I should show it to you. Maybe I'll shoot a video of it and show you.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I got to drag it out of the weeds, but I just might fix that thing up.
Oh, I'm signed in under the wife's name.
No,
Oh, okay.
I was like, is she upstairs on the computer? It's like, oh, that's me.
oh,
yeah,
I see.
my-
All right.
My uncle redoes campers. That's one of saying he's retired, and that's one of the things he enjoys.
Yeah.
He's got up to a 35-footer in his driveway. When we go stop at his house. He's like, "You want to stay in the house or stay in the camper? Stay in the back of the pickup, or because he's got a 96 Dodge with a shell on the back, and he's got a bunk and a heater and a fridge and just the necessities and a coffee pot.
My
That's
my
all he has.
grandfather
is all he has.
back in the 70s, he built one. He actually built a little camper trailer. It kind of looked like one of those old 70s model Shasta trailers. You've seen they're kind of
Yep.
teardrop shaped. He built one like that first. He built the trailer and he used it for a couple of years like that, just like a tow behind camper trailer. And then he got the idea of modifying it and putting it onto a Ford van. And he got a 1969 Ford Econoline van. And no, it couldn't even been 69 because I remember it still had a straight axle. So I think it could have been like a 67, but either way. And he cut the back panel off of the van and managed to make that camper that he made fit onto the back of that van.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
when he got done with it, it looked like it had been manufactured by a company. He did that good of a job. Well, my grandfather's like that. He was meticulous
Yeah.
about the way he did things. It had to be exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's back when ingenuity was a word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but he ran a heating and air conditioning company, and that's how he was. And I was third generation in that. He taught my dad that business, and he's taught me and my brother the business. And that was the one thing, boy. He was a stickler about being dead nuts on about everything, engineering wise.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I learned all my sheet metal fabrication. Plus, I had some layout skills and some drafting skills anyway. I had that kind of education, So doing sheet metal work was not that hard. But when you're working in people's homes, he was a real stickler,
Oh,
boy.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand that. I've honestly, I've never been that good with sheet metal, anything metal, really. It's just, and I know I got a lot of friends that pipe fitters, HVAC,
Yeah.
and excellent with working with metal, and I'm decent at working with wood. Okay, and they're like, well, there's no difference. Yeah, yes, to me there is, and it might just be psychological, but to me there is, and I don't get along very well with metal. But you're talking about the camper, and the camper I built, is in my driveway.
Yeah, I've checked that out.
And
I think it's pretty cool how you made it a pop up too.
yeah, hard-sided pop-up, yeah. And I don't know how many times, that's our guest room, especially for holidays and everything. There's been so many times we've put people up in that because I can run the hose, I can run I can plug it in right from the house. It's got its own toilet, it's got its own sink, everything. So they're all set up out there
Yeah.
if they want. Now, the only downside to it is the only shower I have for it is an outside shower. And I do have a shower tent, and I have hooked that up before, but to be honest with you, it's just as easy for them to run inside and take a shower.
Yeah, right.
But the option is there. I usually
Yeah.
hook it up because the shower is also my hot water heater for the camper. So I'll hook it up whether they want to take a shower or not. If they're out there for a few days, I'll hook it up so they'll have hot water in the camper as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, it comes in handy. It really does come in handy for, like I said, for as a guest room.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that teardrop camper when I got it, the whole reason why I got it was because there was a television show I was watching, and it was a show that was plugging this particular manufacturer of these teardrop campers.
Mhm.
And they've got a whole community, and they got all these accessories and stuff that you can
I
get
gotcha.
for these campers, and I thought, geez, that's pretty cool. So I bought it and never did use it. Never did use it. It just sat out there until it rotted to the ground. Now that I'd like to use it, I need to rebuild it first.
I gotcha.
But
I gotcha.
it's still there, and I can take all the side panels down and use them as patterns to build new side panels and
Oh yeah.
roof panels and that kind of stuff. You
The
just
camp-
go to the Lowe's or the Home Depot and buy some off the shelf kitchen cabinets and some Formica countertop, and and just you can make them really cool because
Oh yeah.
and I've got stuff like little propane camper stoves and that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and I can put a little generator on the bolted generator to the tongue of the trailer, and I can even put a little window air conditioner in it,
Yep.
and be all set.
Yeah, that's what I use in my camper for air conditioning. I have a little 6,000 BTU unit that
Yeah.
that I put right in the side, and for heat, right now for heat, if we use it in the cold weather, I have 3 different options. Well, 2 options actually. I got a nice little Mr. Buddy or a little buddy heater,
Yeah.
and that camper's so small. In about 10 minutes, it'll heat that thing right up, even set on low, which is nice because then I get it up to temperature, get everything heat soaked in it. And then if I'm plugged in, I'll use my little electric heater, which I like sleeping. I like a cold temperature when I'm sleeping. Okay. And it will, even on, my God, I slept out in there one time. I think the temperature get down to 15 degrees. And I heated it up with the little buddy heater, and then I turned that little electric heater on, and it kept it at 50 degrees the whole night. Because, like I said, it's such a small area. And I will throw this caveat in: it kept it at 50 degrees from the waist up. Okay,
Yeah.
from the waist down, it was about 10 freaking degrees. As soon as my feet hit the ground, I was like, "Oh my God!" Yeah, that was miserable. That
Yeah.
was cold. I will say that. But the camper
Now you
was
got me to thinking, because I'll tell you what. See, I like these little oil-filled heaters that where there's a heat element that heats the oil,
Yep,
and then the oil radiates up.
right.
And I've seen them in little miniature versions.
Yep.
But just by you talking and being in the heat and air conditioning business and knowing about radiant floor heat, that just set my mind to thinking, when and if I rebuild this camper, maybe I should put some radiant floor heat in it,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's
But
something I
here's the
never thought
thing.
of.
Here's an idea that I had here with this house when I was redoing it. It's because one, I have 2 wells on the property, and here's the thing: those wells are deep. and you go that deep, the water temperature is always constant. It's always
Oh,
a
yeah.
constant 65 degrees. Now, if you do radiant floor heat in it, all you need is a circulator pump to flow the water through the tubing that's in the floor.
Yep.
And in the summertime, that 65-degree water temperature is going to feel cool to you.
Yep. Yep.
And in the wintertime, when it's 30 degrees out, that 65-degree water temperature is going to feel warm to you. So you don't even have to spend the money on a boiler or a chiller system to heat or cool the water, you know. But what I did do was I got some backflow. I bought some backflow preventers so that this is what I can do. When the water comes out of the well, comes to the house, it comes into the cold water main, it goes right into the water heater. Then what I would do is I would come out of the water heater, circulate throughout the house before you go tapping off onto the out of it to take a shower or have hot water.
Right.
And you got a circulator pump that's constantly keeping that water flowing. And by doing that, what actually happens is your water heater doesn't cycle on and off as often.
Right.
It's more efficient to run it if you keep the water flowing.
Yep.
You see, and with backflow preventers, you can keep it from going the wrong way,
Right.
and just
Right.
tap off of that. And so what you are doing is, and that water heater, you can set it to 130-degree temperature. Now there's going to be some thermodynamics lost radiating it through the system,
Mhm.
but it's still going to be hot enough to take a shower with, you know. So, and that's just one thought, you know.
Oh yeah. You know what? Believe it or not, I have seen some houses where they've done pretty close to what you're talking about. You know, in the walls, on the floor, a lot of it, and they will be circulating the groundwater.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, that's what they call it's the whole system is called a geothermal heating system. In fact, the very first one I did, it wasn't me alone. I was working with a team of guys, but it was a geothermal radiant floor system that we put in an airplane hangar.
okay.
And it was just that we were going, the guy, he's at this airport. It's his airport. And he was getting into the business of these little tiny airplanes. And so he had this big hangar. It was big enough to put like a 2 Lear jets in, you know,
Oh yeah. Yep.
which for these little ultralight planes that he was doing, you could get 50 of them in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But and so he's getting into this business. So he had this airplane hangar built. And he had the concrete poured, and that was just it. He hired us in, and we laid all the radiant tubing down on the concrete reinforcing wire before they pour the concrete.
Yep.
We stub out, and then all we did was we tapped into a well. He had a well drilled, and that's all we did. We circulate that water around. Now here's the funny part about it, though. In the wintertime, when it was all done and the system was up and working. Now here's the thing: when you'd open up them big hangar doors to let airplanes out, you know, of course, you're losing all that heat that's in the building.
Yeah.
But as soon as you close those doors, you get what is called rebound, because all that ground underneath that concrete slab is also being heated.
Yeah. You
So
got
as
a
soon
big
as you
thermal
close that
mat.
door, it takes no time for that to heat right back up again.
Yep.
You know, because the concrete's nice and warm. That concrete will be 65 degrees on a 30-degree day. You know, it takes nothing for it to rebound.
Oh yeah.
You know, the downside to it was when the building was all done, he had all this landscaping done. He had some Holland tulip bulbs planted in the bedding around the front of the building that looks nice in the springtime. But here was the thing. It got so warm that those Holland bulbs, tulips, started sprouting in the middle of the wintertime because the ground was that dang warm,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another real common thing with water being circulated like that too is when you have solar panels up top, they will run the tubing
Yep, you
underneath
can do
those
that.
solar,
Yep.
underneath those solar
Yep.
panels, and you don't need
Exactly.
an actual water heater.
Yep.
The radiant heat, those solar panels get hot.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get real hot. And
My mother had that done with her pools. she had an in-ground pool built in her backyard down here in Florida,
Yep.
and she had a one of those solar panel pool heaters, which is nothing more than a series of little tiny capillary tubes
Yep.
going from an upper manifold to a lower manifold. They use the slope of the roof. The water is pumped up to the top manifold that trickles down those capillary tubes down to the bottom manifold, where it then just drains back down into the pool. And the thing works so well that on a 95-degree day, the swimming pool will be 99 degrees.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no
So
doubt.
it's not like you could jump in the pool and cool off. You jumped in the pool to cool off, but you weren't. You were just now wet and still hot. You
Yep.
know?
Yep.
You
Yeah.
weren't
You
cooled off
didn't
at all.
know. You didn't know if
I mean-
water was dripping or you was sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
See-
that would just be it. I'd be over there working. I was putting in an in-ground lawn sprinkling system at my mother's house, and it was one of those days where it's hot as hell. My mother told me, she says, "Well, if you get too hot, just take a dip in the pool." And I did. I jumped in the pool, and it wasn't cool at all. And I checked
No.
the temperature on the little thermometer floating in the pool. Sure enough, it was 99 degrees. That's how hot she keeps her hot tub. It's 99 degrees.
See, my wife would love that because she don't like getting in the pool unless you get in the pool and you're sweating. You know me? I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of I
Don't
like
even
jumping
bother
in
with the pool. Just get a hot
pool.
tub. You want it that damn hot. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. But you're talking about thermal mass though with that concrete on the floor. Now I know I don't show a whole lot of my shed, but that's one thing I love about it in the wintertime. If I keep that wood stove in there going for a couple days,
Yeah.
between all the metal toolboxes, the fact that the bottom
everything heats
part,
up.
the bottom 3 feet of my shed is cinder block and concrete. All right, the whole floor is concrete. 3
Yeah.
feet up is cinder block.
Right.
Once that thermal mass heats up, that fire can go out. It can be 20 degrees outside and it's still 50 degrees inside without the fire going.
Yeah.
You know, so it don't take a whole lot to heat it up. Once you have, like I said, that
Right.
all that thermal mass heated up. I mean,
Yeah.
I have walked in there many a time and a fire hasn't been going. You know, I'll go in on a Friday. I haven't had a fire going since Wednesday. And I'll go up to my toolbox to grab something. I'm like, wow, you know,
So warm.
I don't have to worry about my hands sticking to it like you would a flagpole outside, you know.
Right.
It's like this is putting off heat. What are you doing, Mark? Why are you standing next to your toolbox? I'm warming up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm warming up my hands. Well, there ain't no
And here's
fire
the thing.
going. No, my toolbox
Now-
is warm enough.
Now it takes a lot of BTU energy to heat something like that up.
Yep.
But once it's heated up, it takes very little of it to hold it there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like BTU energy. It's just like horsepower. You know, it takes a lot of horsepower to get a big heavy vehicle going, but it doesn't take a lot of horsepower to keep it
Keep
going.
it
You know what I
going.
mean?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where. And here's the thing about with thermodynamics: the denser the property is that you're trying to heat, the longer it holds that heat.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why, you know, and there are pluses and minuses to forced air heat as opposed to boiler heat.
Right.
You know, one of them being is that boiler heat can dry the air out quicker, so you need to have a humidifier to keep moisture in the air. Otherwise, you know, it can create problems for some people. But the amount of BTU energy it takes to heat that water up does take more when you do
Yep.
your initial startup. But once it's up and running, it takes very little to do it. And that water takes a lot longer to cool off than it does air. You know, if you were having a forced air furnace,
Oh
heat.
yeah.
you see. And that's what it's about. It's about once you got the house warm and the house is well insulated and you got everything in that house warm, it's
Yep.
going to have that residual heat. You can lose your heat for 2 days in below freezing weather, and it'll still be 55, 60 degrees inside your house,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yep.
because it takes that long for it to cool off.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, that's why I love having that wood stove out in the shed. And
Yeah.
once you get that shed, like I said, once you get that shed heat soaked, between the
Yeah.
concrete, all the metal, a lot of the cast iron stuff, tools that I have out there, not just the steel, but the cast iron. Once all that thermal mass heats up, like you said, I can really,
Yeah.
it'll last forever,
Yeah.
just about.
Yeah.
It takes a lot
And that
for it to
residual
cool
heat
down.
stays
Yep.
with you. And that's why I would always do, a boiler heat system, which first of all, to call it boiler heat is a misnomer because they're so efficient nowadays. There's no reason to heat water to boiling point anymore.
Right.
You're only heating it. A boiler system will maximum setting on that is about 140, 145, which is a little bit hotter than what your water heater is going to do. Your water heater goes to 130 as a maximum, but see, 130 is scalding to the human skin anyway. So, and it just, but once you've got everything heated up, it doesn't take that much to keep it heated.
Oh,
see.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
it-
remember, I'm old enough. I remember a lot of the houses, a lot of the apartment buildings that used to have the big water radiators in them and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember a lot of them, they used to have that little pressure relief valve
Yeah.
on it too, just in
Well,
case.
those are steam
happened.
systems.
Yep.
Those are the old steam systems, and
Yep.
that was just it. See, back in those days, I worked in some of these old apartment buildings that were built back in the 1800s
Yep.
and used steam boilers
Yep.
and steam heat. And the advantage to that is you have only one pipe that goes up and feeds off to all these radiators, and then the steam just bleeds off, and then the boiler has to refill from the water that got steamed off.
I
As to
got
where with these hot water systems, they don't have to heat as hot, and they just keep circulating water. They're
yeah,
far
it's
more
like a
efficient
closed
nowadays.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, the old steam systems were not very efficient, but the newer systems are, and now they're just using baseboard radiant heat, which is nothing more than a copper pipe with a
Mhm.
series of aluminum fins on them now, and they'll radiate a great deal of heat.
Oh,
A
yeah.
single 3/4 inch diameter piece of copper tubing with radiant fins on it will throw out some BTUs. I don't remember what the number is now, but it's like you calculate it by BTUs per foot of radiant baseboard, and essentially if you had baseboard going all the way around the perimeter of the house, that's enough to heat the whole dang house.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
have to have it going around every single wall in every single room. Of course, that just depends upon where you're living and all that other stuff too. And
Yeah.
I've been out of that business for so long now that I've forgotten a lot of it.
I gotcha.
So, I got the Kelly Bundy brain. There's only so much information that can be held up in here.
Yeah,
start
when you learn
putting
something
new
new.
information, you lose something out the other side.
Yep. I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh my God. Yeah. Jesus. But yeah, it's always interesting talking to you guys, both of you. I mean, there's just there's so much stuff that comes out. It's. I appreciate y'all showing up. Hopping on. It makes. I always learn something. That is for sure. I always learn. Not that I
Here's
knew a
something
whole
else
lot
you're
to
going to
begin
learn.
with, though.
Here's something else you're going to learn. I'm going to go inside the house and cook me some breakfast.
I gotcha, man. I gotcha.
Already had mine.
I
I
gotcha.
haven't
Well,
had breakfast yet. It's 9:15 right here right now. So
yeah, I'm an
Uh,
hour
time
ahead
for
of
me
you.
to
It's
go and
quarter
get something to
past 10 here.
yeah.
At least that's
Yeah.
what I'm showing. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. And I hate to say it, but the wife is sitting over here looking at me, going, "Aren't you supposed to be getting the truck fixed so I can have my Jeep back?" So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
I got to get out there and get my. She works
Yeah.
later, and I got to go get car parts before she does. So
oh yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, gentlemen, it's been great. I really enjoyed today. I enjoyed
Yeah, it
talking
was
to
fun.
everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we're gonna end this. I'm gonna get out of here too, because the wife is already looking at me, going, "You said you were getting off. You just said
Yeah.
you were getting. Why is it taking you 20 minutes to get off?"
Yeah.
that's normal.
Oh shit. Mm.
Yeah,
What
those
do we
20-minute goodbyes are.
Well, yeah. Not only that, but the wife just told me happy anniversary. I forgot.
Oh,
Today's our
goodness.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh,
Happy
That's one thing
anniversary,
you don't
honey.
forget.
all right. The boys said happy anniversary.
Yeah.
All right.
honey.
Yeah.
Now, you want to hear the kicker?
Yeah, sure.
She forgot too. It was her sister-in-law.
Yesterday?
No, her sister-in-law just sent her a text going, "Happy anniversary." That's how she remembered. That's why she's sitting over here giggling.
I got
She-
I got
she was
one
telling me,
anniversary
I forgot.
story I'd like to tell you before you get off.
All right, go ahead.
We had our septic tank go bad on us, right? And we had to get a new septic tank, and it was going to cost about $3,500, and that tapped both of our bank accounts. And I mean, we were tapped. The day that they were installing it was the day of our anniversary, and I felt so bad that I couldn't even take my wife out for anniversary dinner, and it was our 10th anniversary. You know,
Yep.
it was number 10. And so I told her, I said, I'm sorry that I can't. We don't even have enough money to go out for an anniversary dinner like we did every year. Every year
Right.
we go out for dinner, you know, and go to a show or something, whatever, you know. And I told her, I said, I don't even have enough money to take you out to dinner tonight. And she says, and you got to remember, she's a deep South Mississippi girl. And she says to me, she says, "Oh, that's okay, honey." She says, "Nothing says I love you like a new septic tank."
I got you, man.
And she was just a sweetheart that way, you know. She was a
Yeah.
real
That's
mild mannered. Yeah. I mean,
That
it would take an awful lot for her to get yelling at me, but I seem to manage to do it. you
Oh
know?
yeah. Yeah, I understand that. You know, and it comes naturally. I understand that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta go now, and we
Yeah.
gotta figure out what we're gonna do here today.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, sweetheart. Yeah, because she's got to work today too. So.
Get her
All
a new
right.
septic tank. That'll make her happy.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's see. I got her a weed whacker
There you
for her
go.
birthday. So I mean, what more could a girl want? You know.
Right.
All right, guys. Y'all take
All right.
care. And
We'll
yeah,
see you.
before I open my mouth again, I'm just gonna hit the big red flag up here that says end
Right.
stream. Y'all take
Right.
care.
All right. Bye now.
We'll see you,
All right.
man.
We'll look for you next time.